Hey everyone! Before we jump into this amazing countdown, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and comment below to tell me which event from 1999 stands out most to you. It really helps this channel grow and keeps me motivated to bring you more deep dives like this one. 1999. The year right before the world stepped into a brand new millennium. It was a roller coaster of change, shock, and unforgettable moments. From politics and pop culture to tragedy and transformation. Here are the top 10 biggest events of 1999, counting down to the one that had the entire world holding its breath. Kicking things off at number 10, a film that questioned reality itself, The Matrix. Released on March 31st, 1999, this cinematic game-changer combined stunning special effects with philosophical depth. Its visual innovation. Think bullet time. Inspired an entire generation of films, video games, and even fashion. Neo, Trinity, Morpheus. They weren't just characters, they became symbols of late 90s rebellion and awakening. The film grossed over $460 million worldwide and became the first DVD to sell over 3 million units in the US, solidifying its place in pop culture history. At number 9, tragedy struck America with the death of John F. Kennedy Jr., the Prince of Camelot. On July 16, 1999, his small plane went down near Martha's Vineyard, taking the lives of his wife Carolyn and her sister Lauren. The loss was felt deeply across the U.S. JFK Jr. had charisma, class, and a lineage of American royalty, and many believed he'd follow his father's political path. His death marked the end of a dream for a new Kennedy legacy. Number 8 is one of the darkest days in American history. On April 20th, 1999, 2 students walked into Columbine High School in Colorado and carried out one of the deadliest school shootings in U.S. history. Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold had planned a massive bombing, but when their explosives failed, they opened fire, killing 12 students and 1 teacher, and injuring over 20 others, before taking their own lives. The attack stunned the nation and changed everything from school security and police tactics to national debates on guns, mental health, and media violence. In the aftermath, the country began asking hard questions. How did no one see the warning signs? How did 2 teens get so many weapons? And how can we stop this from happening again? Columbine left a scar, but also a movement. Survivors became activists, and a memorial now stands to honor the lives lost, their names, and their stories will never be forgotten. Coming in at number 7, the political drama that gripped the nation. The impeachment trial of President Bill Clinton. Charged with perjury and obstruction of justice following the Monica Lewinsky scandal, Clinton faced trial in early 1999.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie.
On February 12th, he was acquitted by the Senate. Though he remained in office, the scandal changed the tone of American politics and media forever. At number 6, a yellow sponge with square pants wiggled into our hearts. On May 1st, 1999, Nickelodeon premiered SpongeBob SquarePants, and the world would never be the same. With its quirky humor, lovable characters, and surprising adult appeal, SpongeBob became one of the most successful cartoons of all time, spawning movies, memes, and a legacy of laughter. Within a month of its premiere, it became the highest-ranked Saturday morning cartoon, with 40% of its 2.2 million viewers over the age of 18. At number 5, the quiet handover of a global shipping giant. On December 31st, 1999, the United States officially returned control of the Panama Canal to Panama, ending nearly a century of U.S. oversight. The canal, first opened in 1914, had long symbolized American power and engineering. Its transfer fulfilled a treaty signed by President Jimmy Carter back in 1977. A peaceful shift that marked a new era of diplomacy. But now, in 2025, the Panama Canal is back in the headlines, with China's growing influence in Panama, especially through shipping and infrastructure investments. The President Donald Trump is reportedly pushing a bold idea to bring the canal back under U.S. control.
We're going to take it back or something very powerful is going to happen.
His supporters argue it's about national security and countering China's strategic foothold in Latin America. Critics call it unrealistic and provocative. A quiet decision in 1999 is now at the center of a 21st century power struggle, reminding us just how critical this narrow strip of water still is in global politics. At number 4, the rise of a new global player. In August 1999, Russian President Boris Yeltsin appointed a little-known former KGB officer named Vladimir Putin as Prime Minister. Just months later, on December 31st, Yeltsin shocked the world by resigning and named Putin acting president.
Приходит новое поколение. В соответствии с Конституцией, уходя в отставку, я подписал указ о возложении обязанностей президента России на председателя правительства Владимира Владимировича Путина.
At the time, few outside Russia even knew who he was. But this quiet political move would reshape global politics. Putin quickly consolidated power, won the presidency, and has remained at the center of Russian leadership for over 2 decades, influencing everything from regional conflicts to global diplomacy. What started as a low-profile appointment in 1999 became the beginning of one of the most consequential political careers of the 21st century. Number 3. A new era for Europe's economy. On January 1st, 1999, the euro was introduced as the official currency for 11 countries, though only in electronic form at first. It was a bold step toward a unified European identity and laid the groundwork for the physical currency we'd hold just a few years later. Number 2 on our list, a moment that redefined the scale of humanity. On October 12, 1999, the world's population officially hit 6 billion. To mark this milestone, the United Nations celebrated the symbolic birth of a baby boy in Sarajevo, Bosnia. But this wasn't just about numbers. It sparked urgent global discussions about overpopulation, poverty, and the sustainability of our planet. With every heartbeat, Earth felt a little more crowded, and the future a little more uncertain. This was more than a statistic. It was a wake-up call for all of us. And finally, our number 1 moment of 1999. A digital apocalypse that never came. As 1999 came to a close, a global panic known as Y2K took hold. The fear that when the clock struck midnight on January 1st, 2000, computers would malfunction. Unable to process the new date. Would planes crash? Would banks erase accounts? Would the world shut down? Governments, tech companies, and everyday people rushed to fix the so-called millennium bug, spending billions to update systems.
At the stroke of midnight, January 1st, 2000, elevators may stop. Heat may vanish. Credit cards and ATMs may cease to function. Airplanes and trains may come to a halt.
And then, nothing happened. Thanks to massive global efforts, Y2K passed with barely a glitch. But the panic itself revealed something bigger. Our growing dependence on technology and the fear of what happens when it fails. Y2K wasn't just about code. It was a wake-up call for the digital age. And that wraps up our countdown of the top 10 moments from 1999, a year packed with iconic premieres, political drama, cultural shifts, and world-changing headlines. Which of these events hit you the hardest? Or made you smile the most? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe, and share it with a friend who loves nostalgia or history. It really helps me keep creating more content just like this, and I'd love to take you along for the ride. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.